Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today is Saturday, 9:30 p.m. and that is Shekhar Iyer time as we take a quick look at what is happening around the country. First, let's welcome the guest of the evening, Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar ji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaste, sir. Nice to be back with you on Saturday evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And viewers, wish you a happy Bhogi, Pongal. I think there are some other North Indian festivals that Shekhar ji can relate to. I'm not that good at remembering these things. Shekhar ji, over to you. Let's first talk about the suspension or pausing of the Bharat Jodo Yatra following the death of one member of parliament, I think. Sir, take it away, sir, and we'll take a look at some other topics also. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. We heard the unfortunate incident of Santokh Singh Chaudhary, a Congress member of Parliament representing Jalandhar. He stepped out along with Rahul Gandhi for the start of the yatra this morning, and it was biting cold in Punjab. And this man walked for a few distance and then he collapsed. And from what I hear from his family members, he had taken his early morning bath and he wanted to be with Rahul Gandhi because there is so much pressure on all the Congress leaders to somehow be, show themselves as very active, very fit. And Santokh Singh Chaudhary was 76 years old. That brings us to the question, sir. This is the fifth such incident that has happened. We have had other incidents there was one Congress Seva Dal chief, there were two others, and then, there was one person from Tamil Nadu. So, in all, now this is the fifth death, and this is at the level of a member of parliament. And we have seen through the yatra, senior leaders who are past 70, who have never had a very, physically fit regimen, and suddenly being, asked to show their prowess by, stepping out and attempting to run or even do speed walking along with Rahul Gandhi. I think it's a quite a challenge and it's a serious health hazard. And I think, you saw that funny situation in Karnataka. One day Siddaramaiah started running with Rahul Gandhi and DK Shivar Kumar had to appear in ED case. So he went back the very next day to appear on the side of Rahul Gandhi, holding his hand and running for some time. So, all this, the optics without the necessary physical fitness. Even I have seen 80 plus leader like Mallikarjun Kharge attempting to keep pace with Rahul Gandhi. Of course, Rahul Gandhi is known for his fitness regime and he has been walking for a long distance. Sir, yesterday there was the
Sir, his
another leader.
brother-in-law runs gyms, sir. His brother-in-law runs gyms. He must be the first member.
Sir, but this is a serious, sir. This is a yatra for reviving Congress, not for extinguishing senior Congress leaders. So, and because the other challenge, I was told, the leader of the opposition in Punjab, Congress leader, he is also 70 plus. He was also asked to, Rahul Gandhi threw a challenge to him saying, can you do 21 kilometers with me? He probably 21. I think he probably did 17 or 18 and then pitted out, I suppose. I mean, this kind of physical challenge, actual physical challenge, in a sense, what is the purpose actually? Is it to test the physical fitness of the leaders? And in all this walking, you see those optics of, a lot of people joining, walking for some distance. You had people like former RBI governor, you had former RAW chief, people are just joining, and then the former finance secretary Arvind Mayaram, and then we know what happened later. Though I believe he would have joined the yatra expecting these cases to follow him. It's quite possible also. So this is a very very I would say, and also, sir, the whole purpose is still very confusing. We have had Rahul Gandhi himself holding a press conference where he says that old Rahul Gandhi is, I've killed that old Rahul Gandhi. Maine maar diya. There is no old Rahul Gandhi, and what you see is a different one. I mean, things like that, which, even Asauddin Owaisi made fun of, recently, saying that if I were to say this, people will say, bas ho gaya, aap baith jaiye, aap pagal ho gaye. Whereas here, why is the mainstream media encouraging Rahul Gandhi as if he's doing something phenomenal and something different? So I think, sir, the big question that is being asked, because from what I hear from Punjab, the family of Santokh Singh Chaudhary are very upset. They say, why was my father, his son was supposed to have said, why is my father so much, was put under so much of pressure to be physically active of like this, when he is known to have, had history of heart issues and problems. So I think questions are being raised. Now, sir, this phase now, this is going to be the last phase. They are now headed towards Srinagar. And on record, the party says they have invited 23, leaders of 23 parties to join them at Srinagar, to join Rahul Gandhi at Srinagar and make a case for, big opposition unity with Rahul Gandhi, if not under Rahul Gandhi. And I don't know how many leaders are going. And topping the list is Trinamool. And I believe Mamata has already indicated to our leaders that there's no point in joining, such tamasha. And also, there are, of course, other leaders like DMK and other friendly parties, the left parties are there. And of course, you have NCP, Shiv Sena, and all total 23 parties. And the Congress somehow wants to make the grand finale at Srinagar a kind of, a revived Congress, some kind of opposition unity. Though I heard the other day the Jairam Ramesh, who is the Congress, head who is managing the whole communication strategy for this yatra, saying that opposition unity is not our goal. Rather, that's an offshoot of our goal to reach out to people, to contact with the masses. But sir, overall, then you're going to have another yatra starting from January 26th, which is supposed to be Haath se Haath Jodo, which is being spearheaded by Priyanka Gandhi. Now, the final test, I think the first test of this yatra will be in Karnataka when it goes to elections in March, April, because that is one state the yatra spent a lot of time. So, what is the impact of this yatra on the Congress, whether the organization got revived or whether the factional fights still remain there? In fact, sir, the other day, Jairam had a very interesting observation. He said, Congress is a party of factions. It's a coalition of these factional groups. So therefore, don't expect. I mean, don't quizzes on why there is a factional problem in Punjab or Haryana everywhere. We know how to survive. We know how to. I mean, the unstated part of the power is the glue. Where the power is not available, then they hit out. I mean, they hit out at each other on the streets. Otherwise, we know how to manage these contradictions, kind of thing. But sir, the whole issue is, just 1 year is left, and Congress seriously thinks that it will be the fulcrum of any opposition move to provide an alternative. And at the same time, we are seeing a lot of developments in Bihar, where Nitish Kumar is on another yatra and he has started a caste census in that state, because all these socialist background leaders, the so-called Lohiites, they if nothing works, they fall back on those old caste thing in the name of fighting for the oppressed classes, the suppressed classes, because they go that's their drawing board. If anything goes wrong, they will get back to that. See how to revive the caste passions, how to reinforce the caste identities in some form or the other. I mean, they would give a grand name like fighting for social justice, but ultimately it is back to that identity based on castes.
Sir, before we go to that, a request to viewers to like this video because we're going to share some really interesting stuff. And also, please send in your questions with the hashtag Ask Shekhar, one word. And there are some without, there are some variations of Ask Shekhar, but I'll honor that. And please, I might take 5 more questions. After that, I'll have to stop. So if you have a question in mind, do send it in quickly. And let's go to the state of Bihar. Sir, Mr. Kushwaha is very, very nakhush. What is it, sir?
Well, sir, because of the churning that is already happening, both in the Janata Dal United and the new coalition partner, Rashtriya Janata Dal. Because I believe Lalu Prasad will return after his kidney transplant from Singapore. He had a kidney transplant in Singapore where his daughter is supposed to be the donor. And once Lalu comes back, I think that sometime in March or April, I think the pressure is going to reach a point where the Nitish Kumar will be asked to hand over the chief ministership to Tejasvi Yadav, so that he is free to do his national campaign to mobilize opposition parties and even project himself as a prime ministerial candidate, which he won't do it upfront, but rather that is unstated objective of his efforts. So, sir, if that were to happen, uh, since even Janata Dal leaders are realizing it's happening, so you are already seeing a lot of tension on that account. And some Janata Dal United leaders are not greatly happy about, suppose that one principal demand, excuse me, one principal demand that, the Janata Dal United merge with RJD, so that is the step forward to having one Janata Parivar, getting all socialists back. I mean, like those old socialist leaders like, Sharat Yadav, Ram Vilas Paswan, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Mulayam Singh Yadav, then you had Devi Lal, you had Chaudhry Charan Singh, all this whole combination of, various forms of Janata Parivar, and whose a basic quality about them is, rather proclivity about them is, they cannot stand apart from each other for 6 months, and they cannot remain united for 6 months. So you will have constantly, parties being formed, deformed, split. So that is the kind of drama we have seen, when they were ruling the roost because of the coalition era. Now I think a situation is coming where Nitish realizes that, his USP is no longer working in Bihar, but he has a national ambition. So he wants to uh, perhaps remain chief minister and do the thing, but the pressure is building up. So how long can he hold on to being a chief minister, keep his friendly ties, and whether his party may not willing to agree? For instance, Upendra Kushwaha, whom you mentioned, he is one of the Janata Dal vice presidents. He has already opened one door to BJP, because he is the one who had once had problems with BJP and even left the NDA coalition. Now he is in the Janata Dal United. Now he is, using the occasion of Makar Sankranti, sending out invites to BJP leaders, which goes to show that a lot of instability has already set in Bihar politics. And though Bihar assembly elections are not due until 25, you are seeing a lot of things happening. And as I mentioned, they fall back to the caste thing. So from January 6th, this caste census is started in Bihar, where they are enumerating about 12.5 crore people on the basis of caste, subcaste, then profession, skill, religion, sect. All this is basic idea is to see, in the name of gathering scientific data for better implementation of development programs. But idea seems to be, somehow, bring back that OBC quota politics, so that the BJP is, the pan Hindutva kind of thing, where you talk in terms of uniting Hindu society. That gets a big shake-up, and Prime Minister Modi has a problem. So this is the grand plan which is happening already there. And what we are seeing is, sir, the census of 2021, because the last census was held in 2011, and you had to have a census in 2021, but it got postponed due to the pandemic. And now I hear that nothing is likely to happen. The census won't take off until the Lok Sabha elections of 2024 are over. For a simple reason, sir. One is this caste factor, because these so-called social justice parties, or so-called Loyite parties, they are insisting that caste should become an important factor in the enumeration. The last caste census was done in 1931. It was on that basis you had the Mandal quota. And we know why Mandal came about. The Mandal Commission was set up by Indira Gandhi. He gave a report to Indira Gandhi when she was Prime Minister, I think sometime in 1983, if I remember. And after that, she put it in cold storage, because she knew it's spelled trouble with big T. Then subsequently, when VP Singh became Prime Minister in 90, and he had a troublesome Devi Lal as his Deputy Prime Minister, and there was a problem. Devi Lal was finding it difficult to work under VP Singh, and was threatening to create problems by organizing a show of supporters in Delhi. These people, these leaders, Ram Vilas Paswan, Sharat Yadav, they went to VP Singh and said, if you don't implement it, implement this quota business, then we will also walk over to Devi Lal. So it was under that pressure, the files of Mandal Commission were dusted off, and announcement was made. And after that, there was a lot of violence everywhere, and that government also faced. And when this Mandal politics started, BJP resorted to the communal politics. The temple movement was revived in a big way, leading to Lal Krishna Advani ji undertaking a yatra for the Ram temple. Rest is all history. So the point I am saying is, we are again seeing a situation where a caste is sought to be re-emphasized as a main identity, at least for the North Indian politics. And maybe in the South it is already there. Because today, if you talk of DMK or ADMK, we are talking of only like this, whether it is counter vote or Tevar vote or 1 year vote, already an identity is given to the vote. So, and similarly in Karnataka, Okalinga vote, Lingayat vote, Kurba vote, or Ediga vote, this is the way we are talking. Sir, this is what is happening now, and I think we are going to see something. And Bihar may be a catalyst point. If Nitish has problems continuing as chief minister, then what happens to his other MLAs, his own party members? Are they willing to work under Tejasvi Yadav? Well, all of them will work under it. And BJP has become very, very aggressive in Bihar. So we are going to see a lot of things, in the northern India, though immediate elections are not due in North India. Our focus will be rather in South, in Karnataka or in Tripura or in 3 states in the Northeast, Meghalaya and Nagaland. But I can already sense, that the churning is there. There is a big churning because in a year's time, you are going to see the, by this time next year, everybody will be focusing at what is the, biggest bulwark against BJP. Where does the Prime Minister stand? What are going to be his plus points before the Lok Sabha elections? These are the points we are going to talk 12 months from today.
Thank you so much, sir. And now let's take a quick look at Joshimath. But before we go there, I want to answer one question that Mohit Shah has asked. He says DMK, BJP, and ADMK have agreed on Setu Samudram, destruction of Ram Setu. No Hindu groups and channels are talking about this. Big disappointment. Mohit, there is a small change in what you are perceiving. The Ram Setu will not be touched. This is an amendment that I think Nitin Gadkari wants, whereby he wants to be able to have a road connect with Sri Lanka. And I think that is the whole plan. And that will be around the Pamban Bridge. There's a bridge already existing. They are trying to see if they can maybe add a couple of piers or something of that nature. Not 100% sure what it is. But anything to do with Ram Setu, BJP will not go for it. In fact, K. Annamalai has given a very detailed press statement today about this. So rest assured, there is a slight nuance there. Because if they'll say Setu Samudram, then DMK will claim victory that we got it our way, but there's always fine print, and that is not going to be in their favor. Okay, so that is the thing about Ram Setu. Shekharji, Jyotimath update. Have you been there, sir?
Yeah, I've been there, sir. It's on the way to Badrinath. I mean, it's a very important point. But what is happening now has shocked many people, because if things, the factors that are causing this are old factors, how did we allow this to happen? Because some people are blaming it at the Char Dham, the highway construction that's going on to provide better and faster connectivity. Some people are saying that it's more to do with construction of hotels in Joshimath. It's rather more to do with that. On the other hand, you have had the NTPC, denying that they were doing any drilling work for the, their hydroelectric hydel project. Any tunnel is being done underneath. But the fact remains that Joshimath it's a town that grew on a debris of landslides over the years. I mean, this is a known fact, and that is how this township came. And since it's also a strategic point, because you have a huge army facilities there, and along with that, at a higher formation is also there in a place called AUL. So what you can see is Ali. I'm sorry, it is AULI. So this is a strategic point, because India-China border is also not very far off from this point. But the big question, sir, is cracks that have come, over 500 homes, and about 196 people have been shifted to other makeshift and temporary structures, and some of them have been provided some accommodation. They have also been given some kind of money in lieu of house rent. But the big question will be, you will have to change the township. The township cannot remain like this. They have marked the houses which are having cracks, but eventually, what if the entire township is affected? Because if the whole thing is sinking, we have already seen the kind of the furor that has been caused by a report which is credited to ISRO, where it says, it was sinking 5 inches, over the last few months. Now, this is what is happening, sir. But this raises an important question: should these places, whether it is Kedarnath, Badrinath, or all these char dhams, which are considered spiritual retreats, where it's more of an individual approach rather than groups of pilgrims going there. You know, the tradition has been that these were inaccessible earlier, and people used to go there, purely driven by the, some kind of an internal quest. But today they are turned into tourist spots. Of course, a lot of it is not to do with the kind of attention the Prime Minister has given to Kedarnath, where that place has been developed. But also on the other side, this question comes: how these places should be treated? Yes, they need better connectivity, but at what cost? What should be, it has revived that old debate, development versus ecological degradation, development versus protecting the nature as it is. Now, this also has the human consequences, sir. In these, particularly in Uttarakhand, the biggest problem is, lack of jobs. Without some kind of a development, and tourism was seen as one that would help in, creation of jobs in the service sector, hotel industry. You have, the tourism, I mean, the tourist cab industry and all these things. But if this is what is happening to such an important place, Joshi, but I'm just wondering, but when the summer comes, Badrinath would again reopen. Again, you will have flow of pilgrims, the faithful going to Badrinath, Kedar, and all these places. How is this place going to cope up, when summer comes? Now, before that, how do you find, accommodation for all these people? Where do you build houses? And many people don't want to leave Joshipat. And if this place is, if the subsistence is an ongoing thing, then you have to create a completely new township at some other place. And how is it going to happen? Of course, I believe the PMO and all their departments are now engaged in a huge exercise to see what can be an alternative solution to the sinking of Joshipat.
Thank you on that, Shekhar ji. Now let's take a quick look at what is happening in Delhi itself. Raids on Manish Sisodia's office in the Delhi Secretariat. What did they find, sir, or what did they hope to find?
Well, it seems to be is a part of that ongoing investigation related to, I think, the liquor
Licenses,
policy.
yeah.
And last time, Manish Sisodia went to town saying they do not find anything, they search anything. But definitely there has to be some purpose. We'll have to wait and see what the CBI, or ED tell the court. What was the purpose of today's raid? We have already seen its ramification in Telangana politics, how KCR's daughter, Kavita, was also recently quizzed. And of course, her replies were more political than related to actual investigation. So we'll have to wait and see what comes forth in the court as to why this is happening, and what is going to be the next logical course of action by these investigating agencies. Of course, this comes in the background of, the huge fight that's still going on between the AAP government, Delhi government, and the Delhi Lieutenant Governor over their powers and over their jurisdiction.
Thank you, sir. And let's take some questions. First question is from Kamalak Shinoy. Sir, is a BJY more for promotion of RaGa so that whenever, if ever, he's sentenced in case of National Herald, there can popular support available to protest and create ruckus?
Sir, but definitely this yatra, was planned in a bigger scale after the National Herald case. After those their appearances both by mother and son in the offices of the ED. Of course, this idea was floated earlier by Prashant Kishore, and then it was examined by the committee of leaders, of the senior leaders like Digvijay Singh. But definitely, I think post National Herald probe, probably the family felt that whole needed some kind of image makeover, because that is why Priyanka kept saying, they have spent 1,000 crores to damage his image. And with Rahul Gandhi saying that Rahul Gandhi is finished. I have killed Rahul Gandhi. Usko maar diya maine. There is a completely new Rahul Gandhi. But I'm not sure even leaders, Congress leaders, are able to make out what is this new Rahul Gandhi and what is this new Congress? Because uh, we don't see any consistency in what is being said. The whole idea is, there is a lot of suffering, there is a lot of problem. I'm meeting cross section of people. These are things he's repeating everywhere. But what is the new thing that is being offered, or what is the new prognosis of this whole yatra? What is the conclusions that Rahul Gandhi is able to draw on the basis of his experience of meeting people? Nothing is coming clear, excepting it seems to be that one young man belonging to a very important family of the Congress has managed to, get a whole party behind him, with absolute no idea as to what is the purpose of Yatra, how is it revitalizing the Congress. Of course, one must say that there are some who feel, some cadres, they feel at least something is happening in the party. No, at least some activity is there. So the whole thing is, whether this, because all actions, it's not just about activity, there has to be some productivity also. So that I'm not sure, sir, how it is taking shape now at the moment.
So the next question is from Magnet Ranga. The public perception seems to be that BJY hasn't got the kind of political traction that Congress would have wished for. Any info on Congress's internal view?
Sir, internal view, I find that, those who are close to Rahul Gandhi, they say that, no, we are getting that impact. The BJP is forced to take notice of this yatra because they're day in and day out, they're criticizing us. But there are other leaders who say that, look, this could have been a better plan, and this could have had a better objective in mind, because this is like, you started on the yatra and then you're looking for objectives or for goals. And because some planning was required, and that seems not happening. And it all started, when the party decided Rahul Gandhi will not accept Congress presidentship, neither will Sonia Gandhi continue, and neither will Rahul allow Priyanka to take over as Congress president. It's under these circumstances it happened. But sir, one thing I can see, something was always troubling Rahul Gandhi was his image. That is very clear, because that image is also his creation. I mean, that is not dawned on him or other people who are advising him. Whatever has been projected as Rahul Gandhi is solely due to his own projection. If BJP has been utilizing his, the way he has been doing things or saying things to attack him, that's part of politics. But I would say, sir, Rahul Gandhi himself, but we can see one thing, sir, he has become more enthusiastic. And contrary to the impression that he is disinterested in actual power politics, and he's talking about some people movement, that is more of a rhetoric than actual things. Because, sir, the party spokesperson have been, trying to emphasize for the last couple of days, don't talk about Rahul Gandhi, talk about the issues we are raising, talk about, the real problems of this country. But even those issues that they are raising, it has a Rahul Gandhi angle. Without that, you cannot, talk about it, because whatever issues that Rahul Gandhi projecting, economy, or job creation, or security of the country, lot of it has to do where Rahul Gandhi is formulated, and those formulations are not exactly putting Congress in some great light.
True. Next question. Raghunandan wants to know, census will be deferred because there is a demographic change, because Bangladesh, etc. are in it also. What are your views?
So, well, sir, there are three reasons why the census is getting delayed. One, this year, the whole focus of the government machinery seems to be the G20 summit. And the Prime Minister has spoken to the Chief Ministers to ensure that, there are 50, there are 200 plus events happening in 50 plus cities. And this should be utilized by the states to showcase, whatever resources that they have before a larger world audience, and try to attract business, try to attract, tourist traffic, and do other things. This is going to happen in different places. So the whole focus is on G20. At this time, I can see that the government, particularly Prime Minister, would not want anything to jeopardize this whole mega thing, event, which the government wishes to showcase as, very big thing under India's presidency of the G20 summit. So that is one. The second reason, as we discussed, sir, it is this caste thing, because moment you announce census, this whole demand will again pick up, that include caste in the enumeration, which the government is not at all keen. The BJP is not keen, the government is not keen, because bringing back, again the caste, of course, SC, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe thing will be done, but not the other castes. If you That is something I think politically the BJP wishes to avoid. The government is not interested. And the third thing is, sir, this census has two part. First, you will have to do what is called national population register, which requires the first phase of enumeration asking to record people who have normally stayed in a place for more than 6 months, not less than 6 months, asking about their, what is their social situation, what is their economic situation, do they own a two-wheeler or a car or a refrigerator or air conditioner, general profile of people who have lived in a place for more than 6 months. Now, that is seen as a precursor to National Register of Citizens, which is the NRC, which is one of the BJP's core concept, in a way to record all people who are citizens of this country, so that you can identify the illegal migrants, you can identify those who are overstaying, so things like that, which is the so last time, sir, before the census was announced, there was a lot of objection to even NPR. They said even this NPR is to actually go for NRC. Now, along with this, you have the Citizenship Amendment Act, which has not been notified. Again, pandemic was cited as the reason. But I believe the government wants to notify it only after it is cleared by the Supreme Court. This is my gut feeling, because nothing has happened on that, and they don't want to start something at a time when the hearing starts or something, and questions are raised about how this is done. Because the Supreme Court, the petition before the Supreme Court is challenging this act on the ground that it is discriminatory, that it deprives Muslims of something, citizenship. Of course, it is not about Indian Muslims, but the whole propaganda around that act was such. It was made out as if it is somehow going to treat Muslims of this country or put them at a disadvantage. That it was not about Muslims of this country. It was about people facing persecution in the neighboring countries. People non-Islam. Mostly people who do not belong to the dominant faith of our neighborhood countries who are facing persecution. Now, the CIA, NPR, NRC, I believe the BJP does not want anything to disturb the narrative it seeks to push forth in the run up to the Lok Sabha election. Therefore, I think this is all going to wait till the Lok Sabha elections.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Gaurav Chaudhary. In 2024, can S. Jaishankar and Nirmala Sitharaman contest and win from Chennai city with the support of Modi, Annamalai wave and cadre support?
Sir, I think at the moment the party may not field anybody who is already a member of the Rajya Sabha to contest Lok Sabha elections. So I don't see why Jaishankar, who is a member of the upper house from Gujarat, and Nirmala Sitharaman ji, who represents Karnataka in the upper house. Both of them have a very crucial portfolios. I don't think at the moment the party would think of fielding them. Of course, about Annamalai's work in Tamil Nadu is completely a different thing, because Annamalai has been working there, and you can see the kind of the opposition that is happening there. And this controversy, involving the governor and the DMK government there, that has also, somehow taken some steam off this Annamalai's battle against DMK, because the focus has shifted to R.N. Ravi, the governor of Tamil Nadu. I think that there is a lot of rethinking in the BJP as to how this their strategy should be proceeded further, particularly in the light of all these developments.
Next question, Nishant Kumar wants to know any information on the cabinet reshuffle.
Well, sir, there is a lot of buzz in Delhi, a lot of buzz in the corridors of power. There will be there could be a reshuffle sometime between January 18th and 25th. But I doubt, sir, because, hazarding a guess, particularly of Modi's plans to, reshuffle his team is always, Modi never obliges the people who guess, because he always likes to throw up a surprise. And also, sir, I can't see any big purpose to be served by a reshuffle, because the very little time is left. These are just 11, 12 months ahead of this entire year. Already we are, mid-January. So I'm not very sure whether the Prime Minister would really like to, undertake a very big reshuffle. Maybe there may be one or two inductions, and consequent to the induction, there may be some changes. But the budget session is due to start from January 31st. And then the BJP National Executive is meeting in Delhi. That's, I think, 16th, 17th. So I can't see, room for an exercise of this kind, because the last reshuffle was in July of 2021. So I'm not too sure, sir. But there is a lot of buzz in Delhi. People are talking about it. People are even trying to, make guesses as to which are the ministers who could be shifted out or shifted to the party, to take charge of states in the run up to the Lok Sabha elections.
Next question from Srinivas Kambham Party. Why are we as people not able to set agenda for political parties to debate and contest? Why are people swayed by emotional arm twists of the parties?
Well, sir, this has been so for a long time. Whether we saw it through the coalition era, as well as now with single party domination. Invariably, sir, emotive issues are raked up by one side or the other side, and some of the other genuine issues, like for instance, when you hear in Karnataka or in any of those election-bound states, people saying, and the civic issues are not important, issues of governance are not important, but it is emotive issues that are important. One does feel that, the poor voters do not have much of a choice also among between parties. On even on an issue of corruption, you never find a good debate on corruption, a good all the time it's about, your corruption versus my corruption. And in many states, sir, there is not much of a choice when you look at the quality of leaders.
Next question from Magnet Ranga. Surely Nitish Kumar has very low choice of leading the opposition to power. Probably not even a small faction of opposition. Is it sensible for him to give up CM post in the hope of becoming a PM?
Well, sir, left himself, he may not like to give up. But the fact is that, the way he decided to once again end his marriage with BJP and then embrace his previous partner, RJD, and in the hope that he would be, because he was, struggling under that pain of the JDU not performing well in the 1920 elections. So that pain, it was hurting him so much
2020. Yeah.
at 2020, yeah. And that was, that is the reason he left BJP. He kept on saying that the BJP encouraged Ram Vilas Paswan and caused him this problem. So one can see that it was done. So I think it was, Nitish always thinks that he is one of the most calculative politician, one of the cleverest politicians. But looks like, this is a very classic case of jumping from the, frying pan into the fire, because and he has changed partners several times. He has he was credited with social engineering, re-engineering, creating Madalits, and then daring to bring prohibition in Bihar, which today looks like that whole prohibition policy has come unstuck. So if you look at all this, there is not much of a thing that he can go to town saying that this is his achievement. So much. I mean, recently I saw a very very unusual situation where with his deputy chief minister Tejasvi Yadav on his side, he was talking about Jungle Raj, how he had ended Jungle Raj. Well, the party which was responsible for Jungle Raj is now your coalition partner, because the Jungle Raj refers to a period 16 years of Lalu Prasad and his wife Rabdi Devi, where kidnapping was the norm, seeking ransom was the norm. Sir, anybody who found in the IAS successful list, those boys were kidnapped. And they were not released until they agreed to marry one of those people who had kidnapped them, daughters of one of those who had kidnapped them. I mean, this used to be the joke at that time. If your list, you appear successful in any government list, where if you have cleared some exam, UPSC or something, the fear of them being kidnapped, because bridegrooms of such official success were, a rare kind there. So, I mean, and so the very forces which he fought with, again, he has embraced them. And not only, sir, he is going back. He is back to that social caste identity politics. back to all that, which I feel, it reminds me of Mayawati. See, Mayawati started from her own Dalit politics, then she talked of Sarva Samaj. Sarva Samaj means trying to encompass all other castes and communities under the banner of, general upliftment. But by the time her tenure got over, she was back to her own politics of, Dalit versus upper caste and things like that. And then there were numerous instances of atrocities acts being, misused for political purposes. So all those things happened. Here again, Nitish, we are finding Nitish is, he has again started a yatra. Now this caste census. I think he's actually looking for ideas how to find his own place and role. So of course he keeps saying that he's not interested in becoming prime minister, but his only goal is to see that Modi loses, the BJP goes. That's a kind of a single one-point negative agenda that Nitish has today.
Ishan Sharma wants to know, Ishan, you forgot to have the hashtag. That is why I skipped you almost. Given the current scenario, what are your predictions for the big states like for Lok Sabha, like Tamil Nadu, UP, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Bihar, Rajasthan, and MP?
Sir, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and of course Uttar Pradesh, BJP would definitely have good numbers in the Lok Sabha election, no doubt about it. But as to, Bihar could be a mixed bag, and similarly Tamil Nadu again, it's going to be a BJP will have to, plow a lonely furrow. There is no doubt about it, because I can't see any alliances shaping up now. Maybe they could again have an alliance with ADMK. I mean, that's a possibility. But at the moment, the BJP's struggle in Tamil Nadu is a lonely battle. They have to battle it alone, because that is the only way they can create a space for themselves. But this governor versus DMK government has become, what was the sideshow has become a main show now. I think that is affecting the BJP campaign against DMK under the leadership of Annamalai.
Yeah, I think this was expected to die down. Let's wait and see. I mean, DMK now is using what I would call as foul mouthing, and they are going after the governor, calling him names, expletives. This is exactly the same thing Mr. Karunanidhi did to Indira Gandhi. I don't know if you remember that, sir, in the
Yeah,
70s.
definitely. Sir, when it comes to that, all that Tamil culture, everything is forgotten. I mean, they are known for such hitting below the belt kind of politics. And, they got, of course, one person has been suspended, that Shivaji Krishnamurthy has been suspended from the DMK with the man who was attacking. Sir, somewhere along, Stalin also fears repercussions. See, Stalin is one person, is, who, like Karunanidhi, also fears the center. He knows that too much of this thing is going to boomerang. And of course, I do not expect, because there is a lot of speculation about whether RN Ravi will be shifted out of Tamil Nadu. I don't think the center would do that. But at the same time, uh, the center would not want the governor versus the state government battle to eclipse the political battle, because the political battle is more important. The Annamalai's current campaign against DMK is important, and DMK at the moment is already on a downward curve. In terms of, I think the honeymoon period is long over, and people out in the, on the ground, people are beginning to feel that, this government is headed nowhere. Lot of promises remain unfulfilled. Corruption is definitely on the rise, and it's all about deals and more deals. And law and order, we can already see those kind of incidents that are getting reported that show that somehow the DMK is not in good commanding position, even of the administration.
Next question. Raghunath Ramanathan wants to know, this is the last question. BJP isn't doing much about freedom of temples, places of worship act, Kashmiri Hindu rehabilitation. Why aren't opposition leaders moving to the right of BJP instead of Muslim appeasement?
Well, sir, I mean, these are issues on which definitely a lot more needs to be done, and that's not happening. But at the same time, opposition parties do not want to take up that case. We are already seeing the debate within the Congress. We should not be seen as parties only supporting the cause of the Muslims or supporting the cause of the, and fearing to be labeled as a pro-Hindu party. Already Congress is having that problem. So that's one area where the opposition continues to look at only two things: either divide the Hindu society into caste and then have minorities backing you, rather than looking at issues in terms of what. See, sir, it used to be said, if you are going to only look at the 15% vote, definitely somebody will concentrate on 85% vote. But at the same time, there are issues like, of course, Jammu Kashmir. Now we saw the other day, with these attacks on Hindu minorities in the state. The Home Minister Amit Shah was there. He spent 2 days there. And I believe the security thing has undergone some big strategical changes. And maybe the incidents of violence would come down. And in any case, they intend to hold assembly elections, probably, if not this year, that maybe probably early next year.
Thank you very much, sir. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. And Shekharji, thank you so much for sparing the time on a weekend, on a holiday weekend especially, to talk to us and share your thoughts on various moving political events. We'll be back again next Saturday to talk to Shekhar Iyerji. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.